Good evening, everyone. We're glad you could join us for today's session on data analysis with Excel. Let me begin by introducing our speaker for today, Saurabh Kango. Saurabh is a data strategist with a knack of turning analytics into action. At Misho, he leads the charge on data strategy and scalable analytics that power business growth across the board. Over the past 10 years, Saurabh has worked at the intersection of data and impact across brands like Meesho, LinkedIn, Airbnb, and MuSigma. At LinkedIn, he built AI driven pricing models and insight platforms for the talent solutions vertical, helping shape smarter decisions for clients worldwide. At Airbnb, he led analytics for Airbnb experiences, blending sentiment analysis, operational insights, and data storytelling to scale the product with clarity and confidence. He's not just about dashboards, he's about driving decisions that matter. Please join me in welcoming Saurabh. Before we start today's session, I request that our learners post their queries in the Q&A tab. We will try to address as many as possible if the time permits. At the end of the session, we will display 3 polls on your screens and request that you actively participate to help us understand your grasp of what was covered in this webinar. Correct answers will then be displayed once the polls have been answered. With that in mind, here's a very warm welcome to you, Saurabh. We're glad to have you present at the Ed Talk webinar. Over to you for the main session.
Thanks. If you can allow me to have the chat option open to everyone, that will be super amazing. Right now, I can just see like online and host and panelist. So, yeah,
Uh,
just
when you click on chat, you will have the option of hosts and panelists to change it to everyone. The
mm,
minute you click on hosts and panelists, you'll be able to click everyone.
no, it's just showing me like two things. Uh,
Acha, we will fix that. You can start the session.
yeah, thanks. Thank you so much for that. Hello, everyone. Can you all see me, hear me? How excited are you for this particular session? I'm sure you can only use the Q&A tab, but try to use it for some time. After that, we'll use it only for question and answers. Is everything fine? Are you all able to see the screen? Are you all able to hear me well? Quick sense check on that. Perfect, perfect. Hello, good evening. Awesome. So, thanks for the introduction, but I'll just give you a little bit of background about myself so that somebody who's taking this journey of analytics could relate to it and also can find some inspiration in order to make sure that they are well inclined to make a career in analytics, right? So I started off my journey way back in 2015, 2016, where I worked with Walmart for about 4 years. I'm sure everyone would have heard about Walmart. It's one of those companies which is like the top companies in the world with the revenues crossing around $500 billion. So at that period of time, I learned how data analytics was used by them so that they can drive decisions in such a way that enables the companies to make correct decisions, that enables the companies to make better decisions. And that is where the power of data is something that I learned. After which I got opportunity to work with Airbnb. It is one of those coolest companies to work for. I'm sure, some of you would be looking for a role which is remote. And if you're looking for a role which is remote and you want to make a good career in that, Airbnb is one of those companies that definitely you should have it in your target list. So I was there for about 2 years. It was more in the product analytics space, ensuring how product decisions are being taken. So that is where I kind of worked on it. After that, I got opportunity to work with LinkedIn. Are you all active there or are you more active on Instagram? So I got an opportunity to work with LinkedIn. It was in the job segment. And in the job segment, that was very close to, what the industry would be demanding from different people and how data would be powering that decision making, right? So in order to do that, that is where, my role came into picture, which is to make sure that the companies are able to find the right talent with the help of the data, right? So this has been my journey, and very recently, not that far back, very recently, I joined this company called as Meesho. I'm sure some of you would be active users of that particular platform, but it's more towards ensuring that the e-commerce reaches the tier 2, tier 3 part of the world, and that is where Currently, I'm playing a very important role in terms of how pricing decisions are made or how product decisions are made. So that is where my current work lies into. So this has been my total journey. I'm not from a computer science background. I did my engineering from College of Engineering Pune in instrumentation and control. So if anyone who thinks like this domain of analytics requires you to have data and coding kind of a skill set, I would say that no, that's not really the case. If you have a good hold over the data, if you love numbers, I'm sure this field is definitely for you. Are there remote jobs available? Yes, definitely. I gave you an example. You can search for Airbnb and find out there are many online jobs or remote jobs available, because this work can be done from anywhere in the world because of the cloud technologies that we have. Okay, so this has been my journey. I've done my engineering and then I did my MBA from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, and that's how my career has been till now. Okay, so brief introduction about myself. Very warm welcome. I'm sure everyone has settled in now, and I'm sure you're comfortable with the screen and the speed of the session. Let me start off by just giving you a brief introduction about what is analytics, right? And why analytics is used, what is the purpose of analytics. Just let me give you a brief idea about it. Now, what happens is, if you um, if you consider the role of a data analyst, can I say that you have a data or you have a business problem? Okay, you have a business problem and you were to solve this particular business problem and you were to make a decision, right? The point A in any company is the business problem. Point B is probably decision. Right? So can I say we can utilize data to convert that business problem into a decision? What do you think? Can a companies, in order to solve a business problem, make a decision using data? What do you think? Yes. Can they rely on data for making a decision? Absolutely, yes. Now, why should they rely on data for making decision? Let me help you with an example. Let's say you are running a small ice cream store, right? You are running a very small ice cream store, and you are a very data backed person. You love data. And what you do is you capture the temperature and you capture the units on that day that was sold, right? So you capture the temperature on that day and what is the units of ice cream that was sold. Now, what you see is like at 10, that the units sold were 100. At 20, the units sold were 200. At 30, the units sold were 300. At what? At 30, the units sold were 300. At 40, the units sold were 400. Now, if this is a pattern that you observe, if this is a data pattern that you are observing, can you guess and tell me what could be the potential sales at 45 degrees Celsius? Yeah. Any guesses? Like, what do you think could be the answer here?
Students say 450.
Yeah. Ma'am, I'm able to see it. I have my this chat box open so I can see the answers.
Great.
Right. So it will be 450. Absolutely correct. Now, if this is 450, and if you know that the temperature will be 45 degrees Celsius in few days of time, and you know that the sales will be 450, can I say that if the sales is 450, will it help you make better decision with respect to inventory? If you're relying on data for making decision, and if you know that the sales could be 450 at 45 degrees Celsius, will you be able to plan your inventory better? You'll go to the store and purchase more ice cream because you know 450 units will be sold. If you know that the sales will be 450, will it help you plan your cash flows better? Yes, it will help you plan your cash flows, because if you were to purchase 450 units of the ice cream, you need cash, right? You need money for that. So can I say it will require you to plan your cash flows better? If I know that for every 100 units of ice cream, there is one person required, can I plan my human resource better? If I'm relying on data for making decisions, does it turn out to be better decision? That's the example that I'm trying to give you, isn't it? Like if I rely on this particular data point to make a decision, can we make it a better decision? Can we make it much more accurate decisions for the companies to make? Right? Absolutely correct. Now, in order to do this, can I say data plays a very important role in solving any business problem? Now, are you able to connect this journey? Are you able to understand what this journey is all about? There is a business problem. We are using a data, and from the data, we are trying to make a decision, isn't it? Now, in order to do all of this, can I say we can do it on a pen and a paper? Is it possible? If you have a very large amount of data, is it possible to do this kind of analysis just on a sheet of a pen or a paper? No. So can I say we need tools? We need to know certain tools which can enable us to do all of this analysis. Isn't it? Like we need technology, we need tools. So can we consider Excel to be one of those tools which can help us do all of this analysis, figure out the trends, figure out the data, figure out the information? Absolutely yes, right? So if you rely on data for making decisions, and to enable this, if you learn certain tools, can I say it will help the companies make better decisions? Right? I'm talking about one of the tools, right? You can use Excel and Google Sheet, any tools. So are you getting why learning these tools are important? Right? Now, in order to make decisions, in order to convert this data into a form that we can make decisions, does charts and visualization plays a very important role? Yes. Can we use data visualization for making better decisions? Can we utilize data visualization to showcase the chart in a much better way? Yeah. So now what we'll do is in the live, this is going to be like a hands-on live session. I'll show it to you. Like if I have this business case, okay, there is a business problem that the company is facing. How can we enable them to make the best decision with the help of the data that we have? Okay, so we'll try to do this. So there's this company called as ABC Global. It's a multinational e-commerce retailer, which is headquartered in Europe. They sell very wide range of products available for the customers to purchase. As a data-driven organization, they want to understand the importance of analyzing business performance to identify trends, opportunities, and area of improvement. Being a startup, they are yet to make the use of the data they have. They lack visibility in crucial business metrics and trend. And without a comprehensive dashboard, they don't have any dashboard which is telling them what is happening in their business. If we create that particular dashboard, it can help them identify the best trend possible and make business decisions that are aligned for the companies to make better decisions. Okay, so there is this multinational company which has a data but does not have a dashboard. So what we'll do is live in the class, I'll show you, live in the class, I'll show you how to make this particular dashboard. And whenever you get some time, you can try to recreate it at your end and probably post it on LinkedIn. Okay, up for it? I'll show you the entire process. I have a data with me and I'll show you the whole process, like how do we create a very amazing dashboard. Later on, you can try it at your end and you can definitely tag me and share it with the folks around you that how you can create some amazing dashboard in Excel. Okay, let's start. Have you all used Excel before? Basics? Anyone? Yeah, advanced level. Very good. Okay, so this is the data that we have. And it has the row ID, it has the order ID of the shipment. It is having the order date, it has the ship date, it has the mode in which it has to be shipped. We have the customer who placed the order, his name, which segment does it belong to, postal code. Unfortunately, we don't have the postal code. We have the city, state, country, region, market. We have all of that data. And then we have all the product attributes, right? So we have the product attributes like the product ID, the name, the subcategory, the category. And then we have all the numerical variables, which includes the sales, the quantity sold, the discount that was given, the profit that we have made, and what is the shipping cost for that particular product. Okay, so I can provide, but there is some way I'm not able to. I'll just share a link. Maybe ma'am, if you can share it with the
Yes,
student,
we'll
that
be
would be
able
better.
to. There's no settings for the panelists to do it. So if you only the host can share the stuff. So if you can share it with us, I will do it.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. Um, mm, mm. I hope you can see that in the chat. You can share it with everyone.
Yes, sure.
Okay, thanks, ma'am. All right. So this is the data that we have, right? A typical sales data about the sales that were made, the quantity that was sold, the discount, the profit, the shipping cost that we have, and all the product attributes, all the shipping attributes, all your attributes related to the region, city, state, market, all of that is available with us. Okay, is everyone clear on the data, like how it looks like? What are the data points that we have? Right? It's whenever you make a purchase, can I say that all of this information gets captured? Your name, segment, your city, state, country, market, category, subcategory, profit, sales, discount, all of that. Okay, so no, the chat box is disabled for everyone. Q&A tab is what all you have to use. Okay, now let's get started with the first part. In order to do some fast analysis, quick analysis, one of the features that you can use in Excel is to convert this particular data, select this particular data and convert it into table, right? You should be able to see the link. I am 100% sure. If you just click on it, you will be able to view the link. You can create a copy out of it. Okay, now what you do is, if you were to do some quick data analysis, if you were to do some quick insights, the best way to do it is using something called as your tables. Okay, so how do we do that? So we'll go to this insert. You will see this option of format as table. Okay. See, there is a lot of heavy load because 1,000 people are loading. I strongly suggest you to copy and paste that link and save it somewhere. Afterwards, it will be fine. Okay, so do remember this. It's kind of there are 1,000 people, so that's why it is taking a little bit of time. Don't worry, focus on the concept that I'm teaching, right? Are you more interested in this or like loading the data? Where is the interest line? It's in the chat box, ma'am. Continuously, if you can share in 2 minutes, that will be great because they're asking the same thing.
Will do.
Yeah. Okay. Now see here, focus on the features that you can use for doing some creative data analysis. So see in here. Okay. So what you do, you select this particular data, and I'm sure in your Excel you will see this option of format as table. Okay. Once you select the data, you will find this option as format as table. So all you need to do is format this as a table, press OK, and now this is converted into a table. Okay, there is this option in your home screen, which you will find, which is called as format as table. I'm pretty sure if you have your Excel open, you can see this option, format as table. So you can select that. And once you select any color, it converts it into a table. And then what I can do is I can call this table a name. At the top, there is this option called as table name. So I'll just call this as my orders table. Okay, focus here, focus here. Let's see the amazing dashboard I'll show you to you in 30 minutes, like how quick, amazing dashboards you can create with very minimal effort with the help of Excel. Okay, so the step one that you do is whenever you get the data, you select that particular data and do what? The step that you take is format as table. Okay, that's the first step that you do. Select the table and format it as a table. The next thing that you do is, because you want to do some quick data analysis, because you want to do some straightforward quick data analysis, we will try to use something called as a pivot tables. Now, pivot tables are doing your calculations. The pivot tables enables you to do the calculations on the in a very quick way, in a very efficient way. So please, every time, whenever you have to do some data analysis, try to use the pivot table. Now, how do we use a pivot table? We select any cell in the data that we have, click on any cell in the data that you have. We go to insert, okay, click on any cell of the data that you have, go to insert, and in insert, you will find this option of pivot table. Pivot table is something like quick data analysis tool in which you don't have to write any complex formulas, but you will still be able to get amazing results out there. Okay, so you select the file, you select this particular cell. And then we go to pivot tables. Just kidding. You guys need to have a lot of patience. Right? Ma'am, if possible, I'm sharing another link, but this is like non-Google link, so maybe this could be faster. So if you can share, that
Yeah.
will be
Sure.
okay. Cool. So the step one is that we select this particular data. We go to this table as format. So we convert this into format. I have given the name to the table, which is called as orders. Okay, the next step that we do is we can use this for creating a quick data visualization, creating a good insights very quickly. So we'll use the concept of pivot tables. Now, how do you create a pivot tables? We need to make sure, we need to click on this insert, and in insert, we need to click on this option of pivot tables. Okay, just select any cell here, and then we go to pivot tables and insert the pivot table. So it is asking what is the table range? It is the orders range. And then it is asking me to create a new worksheet. So what we'll do, we'll click on OK. And this pivot table will be added in here. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. If you click here, go to insert, and then you select pivot table, place on the range is automatically selected. And then we click on the new worksheet and it will create a new worksheet for us. Okay, now this is what comes to this part, which is called as our pivot table. Now what I'm going to do is I'll be creating a dashboard. Can I consider a dashboard to be the collection of charts? Can we say that dashboard is the collection of the charts, collection of data, collection of charts in one location? Can I consider it to be a dashboard? Yes. So the first thing that I'll do to my dashboard, can I say we'll need to give a header? Can we give a nice looking header to our dashboard? Right. So I'll select this rows. I'll do merge and center, which is in here. And I will give it a, I'll take some font. I'll increase this font size and I'll call this as Global Superstore. Ma'am, how about the recording? Like, will it be available to them?
Yes, the recording of this webinar will also be available in their LMS after the session.
Perfect. So for those who want to do it later on, is it good now? Global Superstore data analysis, right? Does it help? It will be available in your dashboard. So make sure that you see it later on. Okay, so I'm going to call it as Global Superstore Insights Dashboard. Okay, I'll just give it a small color. And like, do you like this color or something else? Let's use a green theme. Okay, so I'm giving it a header, which is called as Global Superstore Data Analysis. This is how it looks like. I'll just give some colors and there you go. The next step that I do is, can I say that we'll create some most important matrices that companies track? Can I consider profit to be the most important metric for any organization? What do you think? If I'm running a business, knowing what is the total profit, can I say it is one of the most important matrices to look into? So we'll create a variable. I'll create a variable which is called as total profit. Okay, so we'll have this, and then what I'll do is I will call this header and I'll call this as total profits. Okay, total profits. Now, how does this total profit works? The total profit will work. If I take, can I say the sum of the profit? How will I find total profit? Can I say it will be the sum of the profit? Focus here. The link will open in some time. Copy and paste the link. Don't be obsessed with that. Focus on what I'm showing to you, right? So I've got this header. The first step that I do is I calculate the total profits. So total profit, can I say will be the sum of profit? So what you do, because I have converted into table, I will write equal to sum. Okay, I will write equal to sum. And then I'm going to give him the table called as orders. I'm not going to select and do it. I'm just going to write sum. The table is orders. And can I consider the column that I have to use is my profit? Are you seeing? This is because I have converted into table. This is where it works. I don't have to select and go do all the complex selection. Anyone who knows Excel, can I say this is so much simple? There you go. I didn't have to select, I didn't have to do anything. And why am I able to do this? Because I converted this into the tables. I'm going to write sum, right? I'm going to write sum. I'm going to give him the table name, which is orders. And in the orders table, which is the column, so I'll take a square bracket. And then I'm going to select the thing called as profit. Okay, so now if I see this, can I consider this to be the total profit of the organization? Yes. Orders is the table name that we have given. This is the orders table, right? So if you select the orders data, it will give you the total profit. Right. So this is my total profit. Can I consider the total sales to be another important metric that the companies would usually track? Do you agree with that? After profit comes the total sales, right? So we'll look into total sales. So the total sales here would be, again, I'm going to select this. See this, I'll write equal to sum. I will write equal to sum. And then in the brackets, I'm going to give the orders table because I'm using the orders data, right? And then I'm going to give a square bracket. Now, if I want the sales data, can I say I will select the sales data, the sales column? Are you with me? Like I'll write sum equal to sum, the order one, right? And then we give the sales information, correct? Close the bracket. Yeah, and then I'll get the total sales. So I've got the total profit. Now I've got the total sales. Can I consider shipping cost to be another? So if the profit has to be high, can I say we have to also consider the shipping cost? Isn't that also an important metric? And can I say we should consider average shipping cost? Yes. What do you think? Is it an important metric for a business to look into? What do you think? Yes, we just need to select the column depending upon the situation related to data. We don't have to do any complex selections and everything. This makes your life very, very simple. Anyone who has experience with Excel could understand like how well they can now do the fast data analysis, isn't it? So I'll also look at the average shipping cost. Okay, now what is the average shipping cost? The average shipping cost would be my equal to average. I'll use average. In the brackets, average is the formula. In the bracket, orders table. Okay, and then I want to select the column called as shipping cost. And I close this particular bracket, so I get the average shipping cost, which is $26. Right? Is everyone clear till here? Can I consider this to be the most important metrics that we are giving to the business? Am I correct? These are the most important critical business metrics that you look into. Very good. Okay, now what we do, the third thing that we do is, I've got this particular data. Now we'll start knowing from where the profits are coming, where the sales is coming, how's the sales trend, is it growing or is it not growing? Can I say that will be very important to check? Isn't it? I would have to check where the sales is going up and down. So can I say the trend is what we need to select? Okay, so let's see this, how to do this part. So this particular thing. In the pivot table, if I want to know the sales I want to know the sales over time. So can I say that we will drag and drop this orders date into the rows? And if I drag and drop this order days onto the rows, can I say I'll get a data like this, year level? I have this order date, and if I put this order date onto the rows, I'll get the data at all the levels, 2014, 15, 16, 17. And then if I put the sales data, and if I take this particular sales data and place it in the values, will I get this particular data? So can I consider right now I'm getting sales for every year? What do you think? If I drag and drop the order state into the rows, and if I drag and drop the sales onto the values, can I say this is giving me the yearly sales breakdown? Do you agree with this? Yeah, this is giving me the yearly sales, right? Now, if it is a year data, what is the best chart that can help us understand the trend? Pivot tool is good. Yes, agree with that. Like, what is the best way to display this kind of data, the time series data? Which chart would you use? Absolutely correct. I'll use a line chart. We'll use a line chart. If it's a time series, always use a line chart. Now, what you need to do is, once you have got this particular data, once you have this data here, click on any cell, and then go to insert and select the line chart. Okay, whenever we have a trend, whenever we are seeing the time, it is usually preferred to use a line chart because you can see whether it is going up and down very clearly. So we'll select a line chart. So there you go. Now, can I say that the sales are increasing over the years? Isn't it? All I've done is, like, how did I get to this line chart? Very simple. I clicked on any cell in the pivot table that I've created. Then I go to insert, and then I select my line chart, right? And if I select the line chart, can I say it will give me the trend of the sales? The sales, is it increasing? Is the business doing well? Yeah, the total sales is very good, but is it increasing over the years? Absolutely yes. So can I call this as total sales? That's it. And now if I want to break it down, if I want to see it at a sales quarter level, can I say all I need to do is just click on this plus button, and then I'll be able to see this at a quarter level? Are you seeing how amazing it is? In the previous case, I wanted to look at the year data. And now if I just click on this plus buttons, can I say it is changing to, even my chart is changing according to the pivot table? If I click on 2014, it is dividing it by quarter. If it is 2015, it is dividing it by quarter. If it is 2016, it is dividing by quarter. If it is 2017, it is dividing by quarter. Now, if you observe this particular data, are you seeing some seasonality? Is it going up and down? Is it going up and down? It is auto-updating the data itself. Are we seeing that seasonality? Does it happen that in quarter 4, the sales goes up, then in quarter 1, the sales goes down? So can it happen that in the December cycle, people are purchasing more because of the holidays and Christmas? Could that be the reason that it goes high in quarter 4, then goes low, then goes high, then goes low, then goes high, then goes low? Yeah. Can I say quarter 4 is where all the festives are, and that is why we are seeing this particular trend? Correct? Right. So now we have got the trend analysis for our, we have got the trend for our data set. Again, it's a growing trend. That's the insight that we have. Okay. Now, can I say that the next thing that you would love to know, this is my sales trend. Can I say the next thing that you would love to know, which categories are giving us the sales? And from which category are we getting more sales? Right? Isn't it? Would you be interested? Will the business be interested to know, okay, the sales is increasing, but can I say I would want to know in which segment is it increasing? In which categories is it increasing? Could that be a legit question that we should be able to answer? Yes. Yeah. So let's try to do that. So let's try to do sales distribution. Let's try to find out sales distribution by category. Which chart do you think can you help? Like 20% of the sales is coming from one category, 30% of the sales is coming from category 2, 50% of the sales is coming from category 3. Which chart we can use? I want a distribution of the distribution is what I want. I don't want comparison. So if I want distribution, can pie chart be a good chart here? Okay. The first thing that I have to do is I'll copy paste this pivot table. I'll continue with the same pivot table. Always continue with the same pivot table. Don't go and insert the pivot table. Copy and paste this particular pivot table again. And this time, what I want to do is, I want the category sales. I want to understand the category sales. So in the rows, what should I add? If I want to know the category sales, what is the column that I should add in the rows? I should add which can I drag and drop the category column in the rows? Yeah, I'm looking at the category, no need for the subcategories. So now does this give me for each category, what is the total sales? At this particular level, does it give me the sales at a category level? For every category, what is the total sales? Is this what it is giving us? Right? Now, what is the best chart to use? The best chart to use here is a pie chart. And in order to create a pie chart, what I'll do, I'll select a cell, go to insert and insert a pie chart. Correct? Like this. Very simple. Once you create a pivot table, it hardly takes a second to create a chart. Click on a cell, go to insert and select a pie chart. Isn't this nice? Yeah. Okay. Now, would it be better if we show the numbers also, percentage numbers, like what percentage sales is coming from which categories that we have? Yeah. Do you think I should call this as total, category sales distribution? Okay. And we will make sure that we are able to see the percentage because we want to see the percentage. So I'll go to this format. We'll go to this design, add chart element. Yeah. Legends. And then I'm going to show him the data labels. Okay. There's this thing called as data labels. It is part of your design. So you go to design, add chart element, data labels, and I'm going to say outside in. Like this. Okay. And then once I have this numbers, is it percentage or is it absolute numbers? I've got the numbers here. Is it percentage or is it absolute? What do you think? The number that you see here, is it the absolute one? Is it? It's an absolute one. So I'll have to convert this into percentage, right? In order to convert this into a percentage, we go to field settings. Okay. And then we will click on show data as percentage of column total. Okay. Let me repeat. Okay. Right now, the labels that I'm seeing, the data labels that I'm seeing outside end, it's an absolute number. I want percentage. So can I say this number should change to percentage? Isn't it? This number should change to percentage. And in order to change this number to percentage without doing any calculation, all you need to do is right click, go to value field settings in the Windows, it is value field settings. So go to value field settings and then go to show data as. Once you click on value field settings, you go to show data as and you select percentage of grand total. Isn't it? If I want the percentage, I want it to be divided by the grand total. Am I correct? So we will select percentage of grand total. Now, if I do this, okay, I've got this percentage. So now can I clearly see that technology is contributing to 37% of the sales, whereas office supply is only contributing to 29%? Correct? So can I say technology is the better one, which is giving me more sales? Right? Very good. Is it clear how to create a pie chart with the help of pivot table? And how we convert this into percentage? Is the process clear? Like you can practice it later, but is the process is clear? If you want at a quarterly level, you will have to add in the columns the quarter data, right? So that is also doable. Okay, now I want to know from which region and which particular segment is the sales coming from, right? This is giving me the category, which is the best performing category. Now, can I say I need to know which region by region and segment, how it is coming? You can add subcategories, but subcategories are many. So in pie chart, you cannot have a lot of people eating the same cake, right? If the number of people eating the cake is less, then the cake is good. If the number of people eating the cake is more, the cake is not good. So in subcategories, we'll have like 10, 15. Will you be able to understand from the pie chart? Not really, because it's three things, we can use this. Okay, so let's try to understand the sales distribution by region and the segment. Okay, how do we do this? So again, I'll just copy paste my pivot table. All you need to do is see, I'm not doing anything complex, right? Are you seeing writing me like some complex formulas or anything like that? But are we still able to get some insight and analysis done even without doing some complex thing with the help of pivot table as an option? Is it sounding simple? Yeah, this time it will be a bar chart. Yes, absolutely correct. This time I'll use a bar chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the region, which is the market. Yeah, this is the market. I'm going to select this particular market. Sum of sales. Okay, this time I don't want the percentage. And I want this to be distributed by the segment. Okay, I want this to be distributed by segment. So in the rows, I'm taking, yes, this time it's a bar chart. So in the rows, I'm taking the market. In the columns, I'm taking the segment. And then in the values, I'm looking at the sum of sales. So can I say this pivot table now is giving me the distribution of the segment and in which segment of the region what sales is coming, right? Are you with me here? Is this giving me for every region where the sales is coming from? Is it coming from the consumer segment? Is it coming from the corporate segment? Is it coming from the home office segment, right? Now what I can do is, can we use a bar chart? Everyone is asking me to use a bar chart. Can we use a bar chart now? Yes, absolutely correct. Just add the data to the rows and column, Nandini, you will be able to get that. Okay, so we go to insert, and this time in the bar chart, I will select this third bar chart. So it's like gonna give me the distribution. If this is gonna give me the distribution of the region. So it will give me the total sales, grand total, and it will also give me by color what is the distribution, right? So look at this. So now can we clearly see that Asia Pacific is the one which has the highest sales, and in Asia Pacific, can I say that the consumer is the segment where we are getting a lot of money from? Look at this. Which is the best segment? Asia Pacific is the best region. In Asia Pacific, which segment? Consumer segment. Correct? So now if I do this analysis, I'm clearly able to see Europe and Asia Pacific is my most important metric. And yeah, you can do all of that. So if you go to chart area, format, chart option, text option, you can give all of this from here, right? You can go here and select what is the color, what is the width, what is the cap type. You know, you can all explore it from here and make it like a dollar symbol. Okay. So now this is what I'm getting. Let me just add a nice color. This, the second color is this, and the third color is this one. Maybe a little. Yeah, there you go. Can we clearly see which segment, which category, which region is doing well? Can we clearly know that consumer in Asia Pacific and overall consumer is the one which is the best one? So if you're making some marketing campaigns, can I say the focus should be on the consumer segment? If you are making any marketing campaigns, the focus should be on the consumer segment. Okay, so we have got this particular data and we have got this particular charts ready. Now, can I say it will be much amazing if I can connect all of this with the filters to slice and dice the data? For example, I want to know, I want to know which which category is doing well, which subcategory is doing well. If I can connect all of this with the filter so that the person can select, slice and dice and see the analysis, can I say that will be much helpful? Okay, with this particular dashboard that we are creating. Okay, let's see how to do that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to first make a view and remove the grid lines so that it looks clean. Okay, just to make it look cleaner. I've got this done here. The next thing that I do is, do remember this particular concept. You need to go to the pivot table. Okay, you need to select a pivot table. Go to insert. You need to go to pivot table analyze, and you will find this option. You need to click on pivot table. Okay, the first thing that you need to do here is to create a pivot table. So I click on pivot table and then go to pivot table analyze, insert slicer. Now slicer is a filter. Okay, remember the word slicer means filter. I can filter it. So how would we do that? Let's say if I want to filter it by every market, or let's say it is the region. Okay, so I can put this as a filter. So you see here, it creates like a drop down of all the regions. Okay, I want another one. So I'll go here, pivot table analyze, insert slicer, and I want to know all of this by ship mode. I want to analyze this by ship mode. Ship mode is like which mode are you using for shipment? So I'm going to use the ship mode. Simple, just click on a pivot table, go to pivot table analyze, insert slicer. Okay, now see this. What happens? This is like my filters. So if I click on this same day, this data is filtered for same day. If I click on first class, can I see this data is filtered for first class? If I click on, we saw Asia is the one which is making a good amount of money. And if I want to know about, say, Southeast Asia. So if I click on this, can I say it is getting filtered for Southeast Asia? But if you observe, can I say only this particular chart is getting filtered, not everything else? Everything else is same, right? Only this first chart, which is connected to this pivot table, is getting filtered here, right? Now, can I say that we need to connect these filters to all the charts and all the pivot tables? If I want it to be like a proper dashboard, can I say it should be connected to all the charts and the filters, right? So how would we do that? We'll go to this part. If you go to pivot table analyze, you will see this option of field settings. So you will see this option of report connections. Report connections. So you click on this slicer, go to slicer, you will find this option of report connections. KPI is not changing intentionally. You never want to change the header metrics. You want to change the inner metrics. So we are not changing that intentionally. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this report connection. And can I say that this slicer should be connected to all the 3 pivot tables that we have? See what I'm doing. I'm going to this report connection, clicking here, and then selecting 1, 2, and 3, right? So it will connect all of this region. And then I'll go to ship mode. And can I say I'll do the same thing again, report connection and select the pivot tables? Isn't it? Now, if I do this, look at the magic that we'll see. If I want to analyze everything, for the same day delivery, and if I click on the same day, can I say now my entire data analysis is on the same day delivery? Now, can I easily know that, okay, in the same day, furniture is not preferred, but technology is preferred? In same day, can I say that the sales is going up and down, not so consistent? If I want to analyze same day with, say, Europe, I want to know Eastern Europe, what is happening? So if I click on this, now this data is for the Eastern Europe, and only this is what is coming. So if this is the dashboard that you create for your business stakeholders with this connection, will it help them make much, much more informed decisions? And isn't that difficult? No, it's not difficult, right? Did I use any formulas anywhere, complex formulas? No. Simple pivot table with the pivot chart connected by this slicer is all you need to create some beautiful dashboards that are there. Okay, so now what you need to do is, I am giving you a task. I'm sure some of you are able to open the file. If you are open to able to open the file, will you all create this dashboard and paste it and put it on LinkedIn and tag me along? I would love to see what work you're doing. Could you do it? Later on, whenever you see the recordings, will you do it, paste it, and tag me along? Yes. Okay. I hope you loved, enjoyed, or at least learned something new today on how to use pivot tables and the pivot charts with the slicers very easily and to create some cool dashboards. What I would request, ma'am, if you can also share my LinkedIn profile with,
Yes, yes.
will be
Once
great.
the session was over, I was about to do it anyways.
Okay. No, I would want them to do it and show it to me. So yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Doing it right now. I will share it across. Yes, the LinkedIn profile of Saurabh has been posted on the chat box.
Yeah. So just before we close, ma'am, if everyone is asking about where will they find the recording, so if you can guide them a little bit, that.
Yeah. In the thank you note, I'll just mention all of that. Yeah. Thank you, Saurabh, for the very interactive and excellent session. I personally liked every bit of the session. Dear learners, it's now time to move to the polls. Remember, everyone who answers all questions correctly will receive a certificate that you can proudly share on various platforms. You can also tag us and win a like. You're now requested to answer the polls on your screens and respond based on your comprehension of the session. Please note that to answer each question, you only have 1 minute. Learners, this recording will also be available in your LMS after the session in the homepage on the bottom. You can also post the queries in Q&A tab. For the newest learners, if the LMS is yet to be created, you will still be able to see it on the homepage of all the past sessions that have happened. Okay, Saurabh, I think we can get started with some of the questions.
Sure. Would you select and then ask me? Or...
Yes. I've already selected a few. The first question being, what is the difference between an advanced Excel and Power BI?
Oh, Power BI is a separate tool altogether. It is a tool which is only used for data visualization. In Excel, we can do everything. Like we can do some data, basic data visualization, and also do some data analysis. So we can For example, we can do some advanced data analysis like doing some regression, correlation. All of that is possible in Excel, but in Power BI, it's just one single tool which is used for data visualization only.
Great. The next question is in the dashboard you created,
Mhm.
does the dashboard dynamically update if new data is inserted?
Very good question. No, it doesn't. But what you need to do is, let me show it to you. So anytime the data comes in here, what you'll have to do is like click on this pivot table, and then you need to go to this refresh button. Okay. If you have a data connected to some source, you can have a property of auto refresh. But do remember to refresh, you'll have to click on this refresh button and then it will be updated.
Great. The next question, is there any technical difference between MS Excel and Google Sheets, or would you advise us to suggest any?
I still love like it's about what do you like? Do you like an online version of Excel or do you like offline? Personally, I feel Excel offline has much more features. But if your companies is using Google Sheet, it's not that difficult. So if you learn one, second is automatically you will be able to learn. So not a much difference, but just one is online and the other is offline. Prefer to use offline. The market still is having a higher market share of Excel.
Great. The next question being, how do you stay updated with the current and latest developments in data science, and what resources do you recommend for continuous learning?
Yeah, like being in the industry itself is like one of the ways to be updated. But the second way to do it is like there are some amazing, folks who kind of share their insights on LinkedIn. So following the right set of people on LinkedIn, having that curiosity to learn about the new stuff. So reading news articles, reading about the blogs from the people, that also helps. Medium.com is one place where there is something called as towards data science. So I definitely go through that very often. And curiosity to learn, like eventually it's just the curiosity. So once you have the curiosity, you'll find a path for it.
Great. We have time for two more questions. So
Mhm.
the question is, sir, if we pursue a certified Excel course from basic to advanced, are we open for data analytics role job?
No, so only data analytics cannot be done by Excel. You will be open for MIS role, management information system roles with Excel. If you do advanced Excel, but for knowing or for doing or getting into data analytics, you need much more tool sets knowledge. So for example, you would need to know Power BI, Tableau, Excel, Python, SQL. So if you have all of that, then only you will be able to get into data analytics role. But with Excel, you can get into a MIS role. You can note it down, MIS role.
That's great. The last question is, to work on more examples, where would you suggest to get data from, like you showed today?
Absolutely correct. So what you can do is you can go to Kaggle, right? That's one source where it is used. Or you can just search the company name and the data. Like for example, if you want to analyze Spotify data, so just search Spotify data analysis. You'll find a lot of data sets which are publicly available from the company itself. The company also sometimes provides the data so that you can help them uncover some insights. So just search the company name and that data, you'll also find like a lot of good data sets available.
Great. Dear learners, these are the answers for the question. Question 1 being option B, question 2 being option A, and question 3 being option B. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. We hope most of your questions were answered. Learners, before you leave, please provide us with feedback on this webinar by completing a survey as you exit this session. A recording of this webinar, to reiterate, a recording of this webinar will also be made available on the LMS in the homepage on the bottom if you wish to view it again. Thank you once again, Saurabh, for this invaluable session. I'm sure our participants have learned something new today that is both informative and useful as much as it has been for me.
Thank you. Let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm waiting for all of you to share your dashboards there, right? Thanks, ma'am, for having me. Privileged to be here with all of them.
It was an honor to host you, Saurabh. Thank you.
Thank you.